Welcome to Crypto Simulation Theory. I'm the Gaussian snake. The purpose of tonight's video is to do an overview of 9 projects that my Telegram community, link is in the video description below, selected. And watch this entire video because you never know, one of those 9 projects could be your project, or you might find a project that you want to include in your portfolio. This is not financial advice, but it is definitely some of my perspective. And just to let you know that I'm not going to be doing a fundamentals overview in this video. It'll be strictly chart based to keep the video from being way too long. So let's go ahead and start with our first project, and this is Tectum. And Tectum is known as TET USD. This chart goes back to July of 2023. It's about a year and a half old, so I have it on the weekly, which is a great time frame to analyze. And you can see back in the summer, TET put in a pretty significant low. I think that probably was the low. And the 40-week curled up, 20-week curled up, and the 10-week, so 10 weeks in purple, 20 weeks in yellow, and the 40 weeks in green. And you can see that price has been pretty much respecting the 20-week, but it hasn't been able to get above the 10-week, and it looks like a potential death cross might be forming here. So if we look at the Snabble RSI, we can see that we still have room to go if we wanted to go higher. So this doesn't necessarily mean that we're topping out yet. ADX and DI does reveal, an uptrend taking place, but with fairly weak trend strength. Although look how it is starting to creep up. So that's a positive sign. Even if TET were to pull back a little bit, I think it's doing pretty well. This is the Trix bubble. Trix bubble has broken out after a very clear inverse head and shoulders pattern. These are shorter term simple moving averages, and it's pretty much broken out, but it looks like it's curling back over again potentially. So what I'm thinking from TET, just looking at the chart and those particular indicators, is that it is potentially likely that we see a little bit of a rollover here. I don't think it would be anything that dramatic though. And I do think that this asset is, from a technical point of view, does look attractive at these levels. And I would, I guess, like, you could wait to see if we get above the 10-week whole moving average. So keep in mind, I don't use SMAs, I use HMAs, which are a little bit different. So you might want to see if we can get above that 10-week, but we are above some key moving averages here, which is really nice. Let's go ahead and turn on the Gunnar EMA and see what kind of phenomenon we have going on there. So if I throw on a Gunnar EMA, and maybe we'll throw on a weighted logarithmic Bollinger Band along with it, so we can kind of grasp what's happening on the weekly. We can see that we had a bearish cross on TET back in May, and it really fattened out a lot in the summer. It's starting to thin, and this is really an encouraging sign. This is telling me that TET is probably in a reaccumulation phase, and pretty much any kind of DCAs in this area will probably work out really well in the long run for this asset. So I do like the way this chart is recovering. It does look really nice. And I think this project is probably going to do pretty well, at least from a technical standpoint. Look at how it's crossed over the median line and the weighted logarithmic Bollinger Band. So yeah, I do like this one from a technical standpoint. Next up is Ando Finance, or Ondo for short. This asset's been around since January, so I don't have a 40-week HMA on it. I'm looking on the weekly, which is my preference. We do have a 10-week HMA in, I'm sorry, a 10-week HMA in purple and a 20-week in yellow. We can see that price did have a golden cross of the 10 and 20 on September 9th. And the 10, unfortunately, though, is starting to curl down a little bit. Price has been getting rejected by the 10 weeks. So this chart doesn't look quite as strong, at least on the weekly time frame. If we go down and look at some of the technicals, let's look at the same technicals for every coin. We can see that the stochastic, or the Snabble RSI, has really been kind of in a macro downtrend, but I think this is a double bottom right here that happened in July and August. A lot of altcoins seem to find some pretty significant bottoms there. And you can see that we did have a nice bounce, and it looks like, we're bouncing off of the signal line, which is a good sign. I'm not sure if this trend strength will be sustained. If you look at the ADX and DI, you can see that right now it's not a convincing breakout by any means that we had. Right, we just kind of closed the gap, but the bears are still technically in control in a very weak trend. So more just like consolidation, with downside being likely. You can see that on the shorter term moving average starting to curl over, and kind of unsure if it's going to make it to the zero line. So I'd say with Ando Finance, again, your investment strategy is different, but I think this is at risk of further downside, more so than the last asset I just looked at. Like potentially more significant downside. It might come back down and test some of these lows in the 52-cent range. If you can live with that, of course, you're always welcome to DCA. But one thing I am noticing on this asset that I'm not particularly fond of is sort of a potential shoulder here, a head up there, and potentially a shoulder right here. So I don't know if that will actually play out, but I'm thinking some downside here is likely. Ondo to me does not look particularly strong right now, and so for me personally, I'll probably stay away from this one. By the way, I don't own any of the assets that I'm talking about tonight, so my personal bias will definitely not factor into this at all. I guess if you want to also pull up some of the other indicators we looked at and with TET, we could put on a Gunnar EMA band, and we could also put on a weighted logarithmic Bollinger band, and it can't even get above the median line. So yeah, I don't like this one for my portfolio. I'm going to say I'll pass. Next chart is Banana Gun or Banana. And this is a crypto that dates back to quarter 4 of last year. It's about a year old. And I really like the way this trend looks. Like you had a nice, really healthy run up into April, and then it just kind of consolidated around and it just kept putting in higher lows and higher highs. And honestly, it looks like it might be about to do that again. I mean, look at the way this 10-week is just kind of broken out. 20-week is about the golden cross with the 40-week. And once all those are, stacked, this thing can run. So to me, banana looks like, from just a pure chart point of view, a really excellent opportunity to make some gains. Um, looking at the Snabble RSI, I like the way this looks. Look at all that confident bottoming, getting back up there. I think it's just a matter of time before we're back in the hot zone. ADX and DI shows a pretty clear break for the bulls, right? So the bulls are kind of breaking out, and the trend strength does appear to kind of be finding some kind of floor. It's interesting. This trend strength really never got that weak. I mean, trend strength of 27 is still fairly strong. So it seems like this has kind of been we could draw like a horizontal line for the ADX and DI. This has been sort of a resistance area for the green DI as we've just been consolidating. This is a pretty strong consolidation compared to a lot of other projects. Do like the way that looks. Really like the way. Why is this not letting me double click on it? Okay. Oh, I really like this. Look at how convincing of a breakout that is. So we'll see. One thing I will be watching for is see if this shorter term moving average can put in a higher high. It hasn't yet, but this is a very nice blast off. So, and look how all these other ones are turning up. Really like the way this chart looks. I'm not gonna lie. If I had some money on reserve, I might go grab some of this for myself. But I'm broke, so I don't have much in reserve. Gunnar May has stayed bullish this entire time. That is remarkable. That is just remarkable. I mean, I can't off the top of my head think of anything that's done that. And wow, look at that healthy trend. So, I don't know anything about Banana Gun personally. I don't know what it is as a project. Again, this is just recommended by somebody in my Telegram group. And, like, yeah, I mean, this looks strong. So I would say that, if I were looking to put this, if I were considering this for my portfolio, this would be a hard yes, definitely. Next asset is Render, which is an AI play that I am quite familiar with. And you can kind of see this one's been around since early 2022. It had quite an impressive run from late 2023 till about quarter 4, and then it's just been kind of cooling off ever since. Let's see what's going on a little more locally. Now, this one has so much history, I can actually pull up more moving averages. So the blue moving average is a 50-week HMA, and the white is a 100-week HMA. So what we notice is that Render does appear to have bottomed along with Bitcoin. It seems to move kind of in tandem with Bitcoin, almost like a more volatile version of what Bitcoin looks like. And it just like Bitcoin got rejected to the 50-week and had a death cross just like Bitcoin. Is this Bitcoin's chart? This looks just like Bitcoin. Out of curiosity, I'd like to take a look at Render Bitcoin as well. I think there's enough history to make it a meaningful journey. So let's take a look at that. Render Bitcoin. I guess we don't have a preloaded chart, so I'll just have to make it. So the render divided by Bitcoin USD. Select the all-time history index, and Yeah, I mean, Render has been, underperforming Bitcoin. It's like I said, more volatile version of Bitcoin. So, um, kind of like, Polkadot from last cycle. That's what Polkadot kind of acted like. So it seems like some of these moving averages are starting to get sorted out. I think we're in an accumulation phase as far as that goes. Go back to Render USD. Um, so it looks like an accumulation phase. I mean, really nothing more, nothing less. It's we'll have to see kind of if you can get a break here. I mean, it has been kind of in a nice little uptrend. Let's get some other indicators. Snabble RSI shows a really nice bullish divergence, so that's really good. You want to see that. ADX and DI not as convincing. The average directional index is like at 14, which is a moderate trend. It's not really a strong trend, and there's just not really a convincing breakout with ADX and DI. If you look at the tricks bubble, we're struggling a little bit at the zero line, so that's not really a great thing. Let's look at some other indicators. I'll turn off the HMAs, and we can look at. I want to look at the alligator. You can see the alligator is upside down right now, so that's probably not a great place to be entering this asset. What else would I was going to look at the weighted Bollinger Band. It's struggling to get above the median line. Remains to be seen. Bearish cross back in August, late July hasn't resolved. So what I would say about Render is, I think this asset is probably going to do well, but probably not as quickly as some other ones. So I'll probably say I'd pass on this for now and maybe come back to it in a few, maybe a few months. Okay, next up is SDI. Um, and I actually did a video on this project, so you can check my channel for that. I drew this. This was a resistance line, I think, at the time that I did the video, and it has been flipped into support. So that's I'm going to delete this, but that is your first sort of bullish sign. Looks like a really nice bottoming process happened here, not altogether different from what happened here. So we have this looks a little bit like TET, honestly, looks just like TET, like almost identical. Um, SUI SWE is doing way better than SEI, so that's just something to keep in mind. They're kind of in the same category. Um, let's look at some of the other technical. I think you're just going to look pretty. I mean, is this TET? This looks just like TET. Yeah, I mean, it looks just like TET. I don't know what else to say. I think identical. Um, yeah, I don't even think I need to look at anything else. I mean, it's amazing, but this chart's behavior is identical to TET. So what did I say about TET? I said, hey, it looks like potentially be a pretty good opportunity. If you got a long enough timeline, this might roll over a little bit and test some of these highs. I think that is quite probable, but I think the bottom is probably in. So same opinion I have with TET. Seems like a safe hold, but what I will say is that I think SUI SWE is a market leader in this space. It's doing phenomenal. So I don't know about SEI. I'm so me personally, I probably would exclude it from my portfolio, just because there are stronger plays out there in that very overcrowded space. Next asset is Arweave, and wow, this is an old one, so I can even pull up a 200 week HMA and a 100 week. And where's my 50? Let me pull up my 50 as well. I love my 50. All right, we've got many, many death crosses that happened. A death cross of the 10 week back in July, death cross of the 20 week with the 100 back in also in July, a death cross of the 40 in August, a death cross of the 50, and we are now on the 200 week. Um, Snapple RSI can't seem to make up its mind what it wants to do. ADX and DI saying this project is dead right now. Tricks bubble not doing anything interesting. So yeah, let's turn these off. I know there's an easier way to do this, but I like to do things the hard way. That's just what I prefer to do. Stronic Gaussian channel. Ooh, concave down and wide. Don't like that. Seeming to have trouble at the median line. All right, I'm not going to look at this any further. No, I would not include Arweave in my portfolio. Seems like it already had its day in the sun. It's probably going to be a little bit before it runs hard again. Stronger plays out there. All right, so someone in my group really likes old projects. So this is Thorchain, a Rune, actually a pretty popular project. And it dates back quite a long ways. We have a 200 week. that has history all the way up to August of 2023. So this project, I mean, kind of similar to what we just looked at um, with Arweave. So yeah, I mean, this one does look better than Arweave. Oh, I would say actually quite a bit better. So um, just in terms of moving averages, yeah, we got all those death crosses kind of out of the way, and we've got golden crosses now. We've got the 10-week golden crossing with the 200-week. We've got the 20-week golden crossing. The 50 and the 40 look like they're on their way up. A little bit unsure how this 100 is going to hold, but I think it will probably break. What I do like here is a very clear inverse head and shoulders pattern. So that's actually quite a nice thing to see. That is generally very bullish. So yay for that. Um, yeah, that looks really good. So I would say just on pure HMAs alone and structural analysis, this project is pretty nicely set up. I mean, it is maintaining support right now on its 20-week. Struggling a little bit with its 10, but I like the way these longer term moving averages are curling up. And I like that it has blasted above its 200-week and it's showing strength. So that is a good sign. Let's go ahead and throw on a Gaussian channel, take the HMAs off, and then let's also throw an alligator on. So the alligator looks like it's finally starting to wake up. We see the what the if I forget, it was the lips. So the green is the lips, the red's the teeth, and the blue is the jaw. So we want to see green above red above blue to really confirm a sustained change in trend, because the alligator could just start sleeping. But with an inverse head and shoulders, I don't know. This seems like upside is probably quite likely. So that's a good sign. Gunner EMA looks like it's about to have a bullish cross. So that could be a really good accumulation opportunity, hitting it up on a bullish cross. Gaussian channel, it did get below its channel, and I think that Arweave is probably going to get below its channel, maybe not as dramatically as this one did, but there's that inverse head and shoulders. Now it's holding the channel, so that's a good thing. It's holding the top of the channel. I like that. Weighted logarithmic Bollinger Bands, it's in the upper quadrant. I like that too. Okay, so we kind of got that out of the way. I like the Snavel RSI. Look at that beautiful uptrend. Um, ADX and DI is starting to, potentially wake up soon. It's, too early to say, but seems like the directional index, the average directional index probably bottomed out in September. It's going to probably take a little while to start to head back up, but I like the way this looks. Above the zero line, kind of curling over a little bit, probably going to put in some kind of lower high, but that's okay. Yeah, in conclusion, I do like this one. For an older project, this is quite impressive. And I have to imagine its strength against Bitcoin has probably been pretty good. I don't even need to look at it. I can just tell. So I would say, would I include Rune or THOR chain in my portfolio? Yes, I would. I would include this. So we'd take a trip over to Solana to a project called Pyth. Not one of my favorite projects. I did an analysis on it. Didn't care for it, but I held it in my portfolio at one time long ago. I don't really like what happened here. So you have like a Christmas tree downtrend, and let me just turn my camera back on. Sorry, this camera is annoying. There's a little bit of a Christmas tree downtrend, and like I mean, I do see some kind of bottoming taking place here. But I mean, compared to other projects out there, it's like, why would you want to have this one in your portfolio when there's just so much more strength elsewhere in the market? I mean, so no, I don't really like the way this one looks. It is starting to find a bottom. You can kind of see that, but I don't like it. So I don't know how well this one will do in the future, but just the fact that it got down this low and it, pretty much made a full round trip Christmas tree, it's enough for me to say no. I would stay away from this one personally. Okay, this is a cash AKT is a ticker. You can see that it had all of its death crosses kind of take place, with the last one happening in July, and now things are starting to level out a little bit. Price action's gotten above its 20-week, and above its 40-week, which is good. It's below its 10-week, it's below its 50-week, and below its 100-week. There's just stronger plays out there. I mean, we've already seen some in this live stream. So I think it's kind of finding a bottom, sort of what it's doing, finding some kind of bottom. You could get some kind of inverse head and shoulders pattern forming here potentially. It would be kind of a very sketchy one though. So I think this one will start to move its way back up, but there's other ones that are kind of leading it. So yeah, Snap RSI's kind of had some bullish divergence, nice double bottom. That's good. I think there's going to be some more chopping that this one has to do. ADX and DI pretty much shows that. And I don't like that it hasn't been able to get above the zero line on the tricks bubble. That is not the sign of a market leader. That is a sign of a market bleeder. Yeah, so I'm not super crazy about the way this one looks. Alligator is still upside down. That's just telling you stay out. Gaussian channel is, yeah, see, we can't even get above the median line of that. Gunner EMA, yeah, getting rejected. That's not good. Bear market resistance band still intact. I'm gonna say no. I would look at this double top too. Yeah, no, stay away. I would not put this in my portfolio right now. So there you have it. 9 altcoins reviewed in about 21 minutes. It's got to be a record for me. Did you like that? Would you like to see more of these? If you want me to review altcoins, you can always come to my Telegram channel and ask, and I'm happy to do a chart analysis. And we have plenty of people there who would also analyze. We use different perspectives, so it's really great. It's free. I don't have any paid products. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video, the altcoin analysis, and I feel like altcoin season is sort of brewing right now. And by the time it's obvious that we're in altcoin season, like I don't think we're in altcoin season right now. Let me be clear about that. I think we're in Bitcoin season. I think 2024 will be remembered as a Bitcoin year, but this is the time, not financial advice, but this is the time to position yourself. This is the time to find the market leaders and the projects that you believe in, that you believe are going to do remarkably well in 2025, and which I believe will be an altcoin year. And get those in your portfolio, and find good opportunities. So I think we saw a few of them in this video. There were 9 altcoins, and I think I found a couple of them to look good. So go back and rewatch it and let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments if you like this and you want to see more content like this where I do altcoin video overviews. And or drop me a follow, you go to my Telegram. Be sure, sorry, that way. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Crypto Simulation Theory, and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified of more content like this. So I'm here to help you out, to help you do better in the crypto space. And yeah, that's about it for tonight. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you again next time.